Well, ahead of Mother's Day this weekend, a lot of us would agree that our moms are priceless. Others are more curious to put a dollar amount on the value of mom's work. This year, the insurance site Insure.com arrived at an estimate of just over $65,000. They took all the different tasks handled by moms and multiplied those hourly rates by the number of hours a year, and they were likely to be tending to their kids. So Lyss Stern is here, and she is the founder of Divalyssicious Moms, a network of over 1 million women, and that brings together ambitious career women and stay-at-home moms alike to support each other.
Yes,
You saw me shaking my head, Lyss. I was like, $65,000.
Can you imagine?
No.
To me, how do you put a price
There
on
is no
motherhood?
price.
It's
It's priceless.
There is no number that you could put.
Initiative. In fact, if they wanted to even add another number, they would have to include the earning potential and all the the lifetime income that their children earn. And grandchildren,
like a percentage of it, like an agent?
No, like it'd be like, they.
I don't know. When I read this, I was just thinking to myself, gosh, like the minimum I think that they should put a value is $1 million a year. That's just
Starting
a minimum. Starting at $1 million. I mean, you cannot put a price on motherhood.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
So to me, what's funny about this whole thing is they in this one magazine article that I read, they essentially point out like a mom is a chauffeur and how much does a chauffeur make, and a mom is a cook, and a mom,
You know what? Let me tell you something. Moms, as we all know, do it all, and we work 24/7. Maybe we take a rest here and there for like 5 minutes, but the bottom line is we love what we do, and this is our job. And being working moms and empowering each other to be the best that we can be. How do you place a number on that?
Yeah.
Because that's what we do.
Right.
We drive our kids to school. We make our kids lunch. We also go to the office. We do everything, and we don't complain, and we're not asking to get paid for it. We're just saying, just appreciate us.
Just call us. Just call us. I see my mother. Just call me when my mother always emails me like, where are you? Like I'm just in, a couple of miles away, Mom, and I thought something was wrong because I am here, Mom.
Well, there was another website, salary.com,
Yes.
that did the same sort of calculations.
And they gave us a raise.
Well, yeah, with about $119,000,
yes,
right?
Yes.
But like you said, I mean, can you really put a price tag on this kind of stuff?
You can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, how do you put a price tag on a child or in a child?
But let me ask, right? So, but you can't. But you guys are working moms, and you, as a reporter, you have a very crazy career, and you also are raising kids. So, how do you manage that? And is there a value there? In other words, like in trying to figure out how to manage those times.
So it's all, everyone asks us that question. In fact, yesterday I did a breakfast called the Mom Moguls Breakfast for over 250 moms that came to hear other mom moguls speak, working moms, about how we do it all. Do we juggle? And my whole, recipe, talk to all the women about it. There is no recipe, right? How you do it, how I do it.
Oh, that's interesting.
We all have our own methods for it. And I might, get up sometimes at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and do some of the kids' stuff. My husband will be like, what are you doing? I'm like, making invitations for the kids' birthday parties. But how it works for me might not work for you. How it works for you might not. And I think that's the whole message too about working moms in general, is that we're all doing it. There's no recipe or formula for it, and we love what we do, and we wouldn't trade this in for anything. And I know that our children come first, but we love our jobs.
Do you think that guys see this sort of stuff differently?
Of course.
Yeah.
And
How do we see it, ladies? How do we see it?
I always think too. I just think, do we ever have this conversation about working dads?
No, we don't.
Never. So why are we having it about working moms? It is what it is, and this is our job, and our job is to be a happy mom, happy wife, happy family. And I think that our happiness, for the working moms, really comes from being fulfilled on both ends.
Yeah.
And I think that's truly, really important.
And last question, I guess, is there an instance where you might say there's too much mommying going on? In other words, like I grew up in a more, and we've talked a little bit about this, Anne-Marie, I grew up in a more sort of austere household where my parents were like, the only thing that you're here to do until you're 18 is get good grades and your chores. And all the other stuff, like the hockey and the play dates and, nah, we're not doing that because this is what you need. Do you think that somehow has changed in the U.S. where now now you have a lot of mothers and fathers that are heavily involved in what their kids are doing after school, especially.
Absolutely. I think everywhere there's a competitiveness today more so than ever. I think with parents and with children, but I think that we all need to just take a step back and realize and let these children be children.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that really needs to just go back, and we all need to like refrain, the hockey moms, the hockey dads, the baseball, just let the kids be and stop putting pressure on everybody.
Because
and
it's pressure on us.
It's pressure on us. And we already have enough pressure as it is, and we want our kids just to at the end of the day, happy and healthy.
And the verdict is on Mother's Day, as we welcome Mother's Day, Mom, you're priceless.
We are. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thanks, Lyss Stern.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.